Most people look at a pile of junk mail and see a nuisance that fills up their recycling bin. But I look at this colorful mess and see the raw ingredients for the most powerful fertilizer on Earth. Today, I am going to show you how I stopped throwing away these annoying flyers and envelopes and started turning them into unlimited fuel for my garden. We are taking this pile of glossy, ink-covered trash and processing it into the perfect carbon source that will eventually become black gold for your plants. And the best part is that the entire process takes less than 15 minutes of active work. By the end of this video, you will never look at your mailbox the same way again, because I'm going to prove that even the junk you usually hate can help you grow the garden you love. Before we start feeding the shredder, I want to break down exactly how we are going to do this safely and effectively. First, we are going to tackle the biggest myth about glossy paper and colorful inks to see what is actually safe for your soil. Second, I will show you the 15-minute processing hack that turns a week's worth of mail into fluffy, absorbent bedding without jamming your machine. Finally, we will mix this carbon-heavy brown material with the right greens to create a balanced diet that your worms will devour, turning trash into castings faster than you thought possible. The first thing we need to address is the fear that keeps most gardeners from using their junk mail, and that is the ink. For years, we were told that colored inks contained heavy metals and that glossy paper was coated in plastic that would poison our soil. If we were living in the 1980s, that would be true, but the printing industry has changed drastically. Most modern junk mail, including those shiny grocery store flyers, is printed using soy-based or vegetable-based inks, and that gloss is usually a clay coating, not plastic. It is similar to the kaolin clay you might already use in your garden for pest control. However, we still need to filter out the true villains. The plastic window on envelopes is the most obvious enemy. While some claim to be biodegradable, I don't take the risk because I don't want microplastics in my vegetables. I simply tear those windows out along with any plastic credit cards or fake membership cards you find inside. Sticky labels are another thing I tend to remove if they look like heavy plastic, but the paper itself, even if it feels slick, is generally fair game. Think of it like preparing ingredients for a salad. You wash the lettuce, but you don't scrub it with soap. We are just removing the non-organic bits so the worms can focus on the paper. One quick rule of thumb for the safety-conscious gardener: if you scratch the paper and it leaves a waxy residue under your fingernail, toss it in the recycle bin. But if it tears with a fuzzy, fibrous edge, that is pure cellulose waiting to be eaten. It's a 5-second test that guarantees you never accidentally compost plastic coating. Now that we have our safe pile, we need to talk about surface area. If you just threw a whole envelope into your compost or worm bin, it would sit there for months, matting down into a slimy, anaerobic sheet that blocks air and smells terrible. Worms and microbes work on the edges of materials, so our goal is to create as many edges as possible. This is where the shredder becomes your best friend, but you don't need a heavy-duty industrial machine to get the job done if you are smart about it. I use a simple cross-cut shredder because it turns long strips into confetti. This is crucial because long strips of paper tend to tangle up into a bird's nest that is hard to mix, whereas confetti acts like fluffy, distinct particles. If you don't have a shredder, you can soak the paper in a bucket of water for 24 hours and then use a paint mixer attachment on a drill to pulp it. Actually, there is an even faster way that I use for small batches, and it's right in your kitchen, the blender. If you really want to speed this up, take your soaked paper, toss it in an old blender with some of those kitchen scraps, and blitz it into a slurry. We call this a worm smoothie. By liquefying the paper, you are breaking down the cellulose fibers instantly, doing weeks of chewing work for the worms in seconds. Just make sure you use an old blender, not the one you use for your morning protein shake. It's messy, but it works instantly. The goal here is to transform dense, flat sheets into a fluffy, aerated medium. Think of it like the difference between trying to burn a phone book versus burning a pile of loose leaves. Oxygen is the key ingredient that makes the system work. Once you have your bin full of confetti, you might be tempted to just toss it in, but dry paper is actually dangerous for a worm bin. Dry paper will wick moisture away from your worm's skin, which they breathe through, essentially suffocating them. We need to turn this dry carbon into a moist sponge. I like to put my shredded mail into a large bucket and mist it heavily while tossing it like a salad. We aren't trying to make a soup. We are aiming for the consistency of a wrung-out sponge. When you squeeze a handful, a drop or two of water should appear between your knuckles, but it shouldn't stream out. This pre-moistening step is also the perfect time to inoculate the paper. Sometimes I add a splash of worm tea or a handful of finished compost to the water. This introduces beneficial bacteria to the sterile paper right away. It's like seasoning a cast iron skillet. You are preparing the surface so that when the food, or in this case the worms, arrives, the environment is already welcoming. This step bridges the gap between sterile office waste and a living biological ecosystem. Junk mail is almost pure carbon. In the composting world, we call this a brown. If you have a worm bin or a compost pile that is slimy, smelly, or attracting fruit flies, it is usually because you have too much nitrogen, too many greens like veggie scraps and coffee grounds, and not enough carbon to balance it out. This shredded mail is the ultimate balancer. It absorbs excess moisture and odors, providing structure and air pockets. Think of this paper carbon as the skeletal system of your soil. While nitrogen provides the muscle or growth, carbon provides the structure that holds everything up. Scientific studies have shown that compost made with high-carbon paper bedding actually retains water better than yard waste compost alone. It creates a sponge-like structure that holds nutrients right at the root zone, preventing them from washing away during heavy rains. So you aren't just getting rid of trash, you are engineering a high-performance soil amendment. When I feed my worms, I use a ratio of roughly 2 handfuls of this shredded mail for every 1 handful of food scraps. I place the food down first, and then I cover it completely with a thick layer of the moist, shredded mail. This lasagna layering technique does 2 things. First, it hides the food from pests like fruit flies and gnats. Second, it ensures that as the worms move up to eat, they are constantly dragging that carbon down with them, mixing the bedding for you. You are essentially using your junk mail as a blanket that eventually becomes dinner. You might be wondering how long this actually takes. In a healthy, active worm bin, shredded paper disappears remarkably fast. Within 2 weeks, you will notice the paper starting to darken and break down. By the 4-week mark, you will struggle to distinguish the paper from the rest of the bedding. And within 2 to 3 months, that annoying credit card offer has been completely processed through the digestive tract of a red wiggler and transformed into a nutrient-dense casting. The beauty of this system is that it is a continuous cycle. As long as the mail keeps coming, and we all know it never stops, you have a never-ending supply of free carbon. You stop seeing the mailman as a bringer of trash and start seeing him as a delivery driver bringing you free bags of fertilizer base. It saves you money on buying peat moss or cocoa coir, it keeps waste out of the landfill, and it produces a soil amendment that you literally cannot buy in stores. Look at this. 3 months ago, this was a pile of credit card offers and pizza coupons. Now it is liquid gold waiting to happen. I can top dress my houseplants with this, or I can brew it into a tea to spray on my vegetable garden. We took a waste stream that cost us nothing and turned it into the most valuable resource a gardener can have. If you are ready to stop wasting money on bagged soil and start making your own, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, and drop a comment below letting me know what weird item you compost. I'd love to hear from you, and I read every comment. I'll see you in the next one.